The Mars 2020 Perseverance rover will search for signs of ancient microbial life, which will advance NASA's quest to explore the past habitability of Mars. The rover has a drill to collect core samples of Martian rock and soil, then store them in sealed tubes for pickup by a future mission that would ferry them back to Earth for detailed analysis. Perseverance will also test technologies to help pave the way for future human exploration of Mars. It might have a profound effect on your life. Your handheld device, whether it's a phone, a PDA, or any other wireless application, will soon be utilized for business transactions in the mobile world. Skeptical? Think about the following facts. When it comes to location-based services in Japan, mobile phone operators work with a wide range of different businesses like restaurants and vehicle rental firms to provide the service. Messages from all of these parties are shown on the mobile device as soon as the user enters that zone. In addition, location-based services have been proven in other nations. Mark was a man who used to do intriguing social experiments. One of them involves stealing umbrellas from restaurants without permission. On rainy days, he usually goes into the restaurant and claims to have forgotten his umbrella the day before. The employee leads him to the collection of lost umbrellas without more ado. He smiles as he selects one and walks away.
Hydropower generated from tides is known as tidal energy, sometimes known as tidal power. Tidal energy is a renewable hydropower resource. In light of the present pace of depletion of energy supplies, it can be considered a resource of the future, despite its high costs and restricted availability. According to latest IMD, Indian Meteorological Department report the real-time rainfall statistics for the pre-monsoon 2016 season. India has received 128.2 mm rain against the normal rainfall for the season as 131.5 mm, departure -3%. Out of 36 sub-meteorological divisions, 8 Met subdivision received excess, 16 normal, 9 deficient and 3 scanty rainfalls. Scientists at IMD are expecting El Niño phenomena which will influence the forthcoming monsoon. In order to take a leave of absence from school, students must fill out an application. You will receive an email if your application is accepted. You must re-enroll at Student Services and in the courses you want to take at the end of your leave of absence. Avoid being distracted by others in front of you or by prior lectures. Pay attention to the beginning of the lecture because it is frequently the most important portion. Examples of this include refusing past lectures or outlining objects and lecture structure.
The control condition was identical, except that subjects were not given the paragraph with the false information and rated Natalie only once. Those tree-eating caterpillars strive to time the hatching of their eggs with the bursting of the buds. Caterpillars prefer to eat leaves that have not been chemically treated because they are more juicy. Of course, it isn't simply the caterpillars that are significant. One unfortunate side effect is that more caterpillars will fall to the ground at the same time as nesting birds try to hatch their young.
Starting with the alphabet, there's an issue. Making an English spelling system out of Latin letters is like putting together a kid's playhouse out of an IKEA office set, since the two languages don't share exactly the same set of sounds. In December, sugar cookies are a favorite treat. Sugar cookies are baked using a simple combination of ingredients: flour, icing sugar, butter, vanilla extract, baking soda, and eggs. Cookie cutters are used to carve out shapes from the cookie batter. Stars, snowmen, wreaths, candy canes, and angels are some of the most popular shapes. For around 8 minutes, the cookies are cooked at 350 degrees.
South Florida lizards were descending from palm trees with their legs raised after the coldest night in a decade. Although these reptiles were found to have fallen with such grace, scientists have since discovered that some of these tropical and cold-blooded species are in fact more tolerant of cold than previously assumed. Homelands are revising their opinions of their diasporas as the stigma attached to emigration declines, and stepping up their engagement efforts. Meanwhile, host countries are witnessing more assertive diasporic groups within their own national communities, worrying about fifth columns and foreign lobbies, and suffering outbreaks of diasporophobia. Long-term water security can be achieved by desalination, but it is both costly and energy-consuming. Fortunately, scientists are working on potential answers. Nearly half a century ago, Spain built the continent's first desalination plant. Water-stressed regions across Europe have now seen the construction of new infrastructure as a result of this development.
Initially, the Commission thought it would be preferable to investigate the entire notion of domicile, especially because dependent residence occurs in the case of minors, children under the age of majority, and mentally ill adults, as well as married women. The Commission was right.
The exact meaning of many words has changed over time, thus it is hard to identify which point in their history is the most accurate. In other words, if we go all the way back to the beginning, we are unable to trace the origins of many terms due to the difficulty of doing so.
The inexorable progression of existence and events is referred to as time. Furthermore, these occurrences take place in the past, present, and future. One essential reality emerges from this account of time. The reality is that time is a finite and valuable resource. Every second, minute, or hour that passes is irreversibly lost. The most important thing to remember is that this second, minute, or hour will never return to our lives.
Commemorative area, which includes the Hall of Memory and Tomb of the Unknown Australian Soldier, memorials galleries, and research centre. A sculpture garden is also on site at the memorial. Open every day from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., except on Christmas Day. The memorial is now accessible. Salamanders are a family of amphibians with thin bodies, blunt snouts, short limbs sticking out at an angle to the body, and a tail in both larvae and adults. They resemble lizards in appearance. The Urodela order encompasses all 10 of today's salamander families.
The organization of South Korea's government underwent more significant alterations as a result of the 1961 military takeover. The National Assembly, which had been disbanded, was taken over by the Supreme Council for National Reconstruction. It is true that the presidency was kept, but its authority was transferred to the Supreme Council instead.